So, let's address a topic that often comes up when talking about prison and doing prison time. This is a topic that a lot of non former or current inmates have brought up to me, and their seemingly out of touch complaints about prison life and prisoners in general. Not sure why they have much of an opinion, but they certainly have an uneducated one that they love to share. So, let's hop right into it. We're going to talk about prison religion. Now, let me start by saying that I think religion, spirituality, or lack thereof, is a very personal thing between a person and their higher power, higher powers, or absence of higher power, whatever your situation is. And I don't judge people on that. I don't think it's my business or my place to have an opinion about other people, such a personal aspect of other people's lives. Just like relationships. Even if the dynamics of your relationship is completely wackadoodle to me or counterproductive, if you're my friend and you're happy, I support your relationship 100%. Why not? The sun is getting ready to set, so try to get you at a better angle. Anyway, now the thing that a lot of people say is, everyone goes to prison, gets religious, comes home, and the religion goes out the window. My thing is this. If getting religious or spiritual improves your character or gives you peace or makes you feel safe or contributes to your happiness, I say go for it. And if that happens to be a temporary thing in your life, that's okay too, because it's better to have a small slice of pie than no pie. And statistically, religious folk, particularly, Muslims are pretty watched in the prison system. And I would imagine the church crowd as well. Don't know much about Jews in prison, honestly, or the others. But I can say that as far as the church crowd and the Muslims go, the known, obvious, in your face organized religious, presences, these people tend to be known to be less violent, to be less hostile, to be less inclined to be on drugs, selling drugs, doing anything that potentially is going to get random people who are just in the wrong place at the wrong time in a bad situation. So I think it's great. I think it's great for the individual, who has found some peace or some comfort or solace, through some kind of religious venue, whether even if it is temporary. And I think it's great for the overall prison dynamic, the culture inside the prison, if people are on a spiritual path. And I don't think a person, like, let's say you go to prison and you become very churchy, and, you kind of just, put yourself in this bubble, this religious bubble. And your friends and family in the free world feel like, oh, you're talking different, you're acting different, it's prison religion. And you come home and all that goes out the window, and maybe you're the same person you were, maybe worse. I don't think people have a right to criticize that. Our spirituality, our religion, our ethics, our moral code, our lack of spirituality or religion, these kind of things are kind of like the ocean. There's an ebb and flow. Tide comes in, tide goes out. High tide, low tide, funny tide based upon the position of the moon. Anything that is good, anything that is positive, anything that is productive, anything that adds to your peace, your comfort, your hope, your joy is not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. And if whatever that is, if it's a temporary thing, that's your business. And it's good for the time that you had it, Why would I feel negatively about that? Why would I feel like, oh, it's horrible that you found peace and a sense of direction and security for 6 months, 6 years, 16 years of your life because you don't have it no more. So it was horrible that you actually had it for a while. No, it's great that you had it for a while. However you achieved it, as long as you weren't hurting other people, I say kudos, more power to you. I know me personally, my religion, my spirituality, I believe is a very personal, intimate thing. And it is. And, and it ebbs and flows like the ocean. There are times where, for me, I find comfort in my religion. I find, my spirituality brings me a sense of security. It quiets the anxiety and the noise of life. And I'm not a super religious person. Anyone who knows me knows I'm really moderate. Some would say even extremely moderate. But I definitely, in times of high stress, in times of duress, I definitely find myself being more religious, more spiritual. And that's because my spirituality, my religion, is kind of my safe haven. It's somewhere I can go mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to find peace and comfort. So I suspect that during my incarceration, just like when a close loved one dies, or, just like, when my house was raided, just like anytime you go through a high stress, difficult, overwhelming circumstance, sometimes life gets so overwhelming that we're literally grabbing for straws, to find something to cling on to give us some sense of direction and stability. And for a lot of people, that becomes religion or spirituality. And for some people, they find that comfort and they stick to it. For some people that find prison religion, they come home and they stick to it. Some people, they come home, it goes out the window. And then, these are extremes, but most people fall somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the spectrum there. Most people, I think, that find prison religion or prison spirituality, I think when they come home, even if to everyone else it seems like things have went out the window or been pushed to the side, and people go, oh, you were only that because it was convenient. Let me tell you something. A whole lot of the human condition day to day is a result of convenience, and that's not a shameful thing. That's not something to be embarrassed about. But I think that having a person who goes through, a religious, phase or period. I want to say period, not phase, because phase implies that things are temporary, maybe even not legitimate. But if you go through a spiritual religious phase while incarcerated, even if you come home and to other people it doesn't appear that you're still in that same mind state, I think the experience of that stays with you. I think you retain the memories of the comfort that brought you, the sense of stability that brought you, the sense of direction, the sense of hope and peace. And I see nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing. It's kind of like if a person is a kleptomaniac and, you don't want them at your house because they just steal and steal some more, but then they go through a phase where, they feel morally, that this is not something they want to do anymore. They want to take a moral high road. And maybe that stage, lasts for, or that circumstance lasts for a couple of days, maybe it lasts for a couple of years, maybe it lasts for a couple of decades. And then one day they go back to being that klepto that you just can't even let come in your house. I don't feel like when they were doing better and not stealing from people, that they should be criticized for that. Or the contrast between that and their current situation or state. I think if you care about someone and that was their situation, I would imagine that there may be times where you would remind them of that. Remember when you didn't steal for 20 years because you felt morally opposed to it? I understand something's changed where you no longer feel that way, but you were more likable then. You were more trustworthy then. I think if you care about someone, you want to build them up. You want to help them be the best version of themselves they can be, and that should be reciprocated. So if a person is more spiritual, more religious when under extreme duress, which most people are, a lot of people are, I wouldn't say most necessarily, but a large percentage of people are, whether it's they have a close loved one dying of cancer, whether it's they're incarcerated, whether it's they just came back from war and they're missing a leg and they have to learn to live with this. It's not bad for people to be happy. It's never a bad thing for people to seek comfort and peace and guidance and hope. These are not bad things by any means. The only time any of these things would ever be bad, or negative or something that should be criticized, is when the path to these things or the venue or the way they're attained harms others unjustly. So what's my opinion on prison religion? I say do what you need to do to protect your sanity. Do what you need to do to protect your peace. Do what feels right for you. And as long as you're not hurting other people, I support you 100%. And this is in no way a jab or a criticism of atheists or agnostics. Again, it's not my position to have an opinion about something as intimate as a person's spiritual or religious condition or preferences. It's not. No more than it's my position to have an opinion on how you groom your genitals. Like, I think it's that personal, maybe even more personal than that. So, with that being said, that's my opinion on the politics of prison religion. I hope everyone has a beautiful day. If you like the video, like the video. Feel free to subscribe and hit notifications. Good day and God bless.